I've never felt more embarrassed. These people talk about 2K26 coming different. You're getting paid to say that. Bro, breaking down everything that needed to be broken down. Kevin Durant looked good in a fucking Rockets jersey. I'm not gonna lie. They put the game in a cinematics mode just to make it look a little bit more appealing. They put Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in a motion blur thing to make the game seem like it was going at breakneck speeds. Here's a look at the brand new shot meter that we have on NBA 2K26. Bro said it gives 2K20 vibes. No, the fuck it doesn't. It's like we wanted the comic, but this is what they gave us. Like, give us the comic back. That was more satisfying. But this green thing goes away when you green the shot, instead of it fully being like it lights up green instead of that. But then they got Tyrese Halliburton and he sounded uninterested. Like, obviously, that's just his regular voice and everything like that. He genuinely sounded uninterested. He was getting paid to say those words. On top of that, they added features within the game, but immediately people know for a fact that they're going to be talking about cheating. I'm going to drop a full breakdown video because we spent at least an hour and some change just breaking down every single scene. There was a scene where they had Jalen Brunson do 2 dribble moves really, really quickly, then cut to something else as if Jalen Brunson was moving real fast with the ball. They're trying to make it seem like the game is moving faster. In all actuality, the game is still going to be slow. It's the same game. They changed a few moves around. I'll admit they changed a few moves around, but we have yet to play it. But here goes this. Look at what they did to try to make the game seem like it was moving at breakneck speeds. This is what I'm talking about. Indulge. Just indulge. Boy, I almost got angry. Boy, I had to walk away from the setup, chat. Boy, I almost got angry, folks. Adding blur and whoosh sound effects like that man was moving at breakneck speeds. That man was going slow as fuck. Slow. Look, they said something like this before. An all new motion engine. Ha! They said they improved defensive coverage, right? And better foot placement and to reduce sliding. But sliding is just reduced. That don't mean it's not in the game. It's just reduced. This was the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. And it wasn't just because it was Kevin Durant in a Rockets jersey. But they added a few things to rhythm shooting. They said rhythm shooting is going to be, look, if you flick your stick down fast and up, you get a fast jumper. You go slow, get a lazy jump. There's added things to make sure you don't get dips on your shot to get your shot off faster. Adding more skill into the game. But hold on, I got another video I need to talk to y'all about real quick. Do my eyes deceive me? People are already taking custom layup packages to the extreme when you really thought about it. So they're trying to make short builds more viable, but they're saying every build is going to be viable. They realized nobody was doing scoop layups and using layups at all this year for real. They can't do the Devin Booker floater, so they decided to add custom layups, which is a good thing. However, this is how the good thing becomes a bad thing. If there's somebody who says, I'm going to sacrifice for layups over dunks, but not only am I going to sacrifice for layups over dunks, I'm going to make my layup high enough so I can get Kyrie Irving layup package. And he's going to give me the best scoops in the game. But then at the same time, I can get Stephen Curry floater package or Tony Parker floater package and be able to throw the ball as high as humanly possible. But then on top of that as well, maybe I get the best hop jump layups or runners, and you can equip all different layups. However, you're getting the best and the fastest animations. However, did you sacrifice for that on your build? That's a whole nother conversation. But it's the fact that people already took that to the extreme when it came down to layups on guards. And guard layups are going to be the most viable, but bigs can do the same thing. Imagine LeBron layup package, Giannis layup package, already. Kobe layup package, already. With a little bit of James Harden layup package. If you can really put that on your build, if you sacrifice for that on your build, you feel me? I know y'all wanted me to talk about this one. Now look at my face when I was looking at it. What? You got me talking about rebound timing, but this is how dirty people are at this game. This is how toxic and how bad our community is. Imagine 2K finds a way to add skin. Now, they said if you have a higher rebound rating, obviously you're going to be able to green that timing on rebounds. However, there could be people with lower rebound ratings who learn how to time rebounds and be just as effective, if not more effective, than people with 99 ratings on rebounds. That's the first thing. But on top of timing rebounds, the most toxic people of the world just spawned and said now they're going to have a script for rebounding. Then Evan was talking. People can easily make it so every time the ball bounces, unless they make it ultra random, which obviously they can, but will they? They literally said they can have a script for rebounds on offense and on defense, essentially saying that there are people out here now who can have a 60 rebound rating and a 90 rating, but still be able to perfectly time when to go for a rebound in the lane. And obviously it's going to take a minute to make these scripts, but it's the fact that people can make these scripts for this right here. Can you imagine that 2K said this to fix dribbling? So they say they revamped size ups and signature size up. Now imagine a game where you flick your stick and it's clunky and slow like how we have it right now. Well, it's the same thing on NBA 2K26, however, you're just gonna get more reaction out of your My Player. They got this feature called Quick Protect, but really the ball is still gonna be vulnerable. So if you're a good lockdown, either way, they made it like a real game. So if I'm a lockdown defender and I'm playing to your right side, you're still gonna be able to pluck them when they come back and get the ball. And same thing if I go left. However, you can flick the stick more and get more animations or be able to feel like you're doing more moves, which essentially makes the game seem like it's going faster, and which is their goal, quote unquote, to make the game feel like it's sped up even though it's going in slow motion. I would talk about this BS, but there's no point. Either way, it's the same way to do a Euro step, but you don't know if you're going to get a slow one or a fast one. But either way, if you can master it, now you created a new skills gap for yourself. Now they're talking about wrap passes, wrap around passes, because so many people complained on 2K that their passes was hitting somebody's back, but whole time everybody on 2K, everybody wants to opt for the high perimeter defense or the high steal, but with the low ass pass accuracy. And then they want to have the nerve to complain and say passes are bad, but you don't have at least an 85 pass tag. Everybody got a 91 steal with a 61 pass tag, and you wonder why your passes are hitting off of somebody's back or somebody's fumbling the catch, etc. and so forth, man. You know how it goes in this community. Until somebody whines enough and then they're going to patch it in the first month. You know how it goes. The same cycle every time. They're going to say steals are overpowered, and there's going to be people out there with a 65 pass act playing rec. They changed the functions of alley-oop. Imagine you throw an alley-oop and you in a competitive game mode. Usually, you would just press square. But now, in most competitive game modes, it's any one of these buttons. That adds a little bit more skill, a little bit more fun to the game. You don't know if it's triangle, circle, square, or X, but you got to be paying attention in order to reap the benefits on something as simple as throwing a lob. I'm not going to talk about this garbage. They talked about the weak ass AI, which is very sad to say that we're going to have AI defenders or whatever the game is. Me personally, I believe if I don't have 5 people on my team restart the game, let me be able to leave, etc. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions so far. Here we're getting another great look at the shot meter that's in 2K, but this is ass. Now, obviously, 2K is going to make more shot meters in the game to green, so we don't all get too upset. The thing is, though, the best players are not even going to use the shot meter. But the thing is, the meter is going to be on for when it comes down to timing your layups in those competitive game modes that people were talking about. So on the stage, you may not have your jump shot meter on, but you're going to have a layup meter on, which is going to help you time green. 2K is fixated on these advanced controls that we have within the game, which is cool. It can make you be a better offensive player, going up against a lockdown defender and being able to protect the ball. The example that 2K used was Luka versus Jalen Suggs, because Jalen Suggs is known as the defender, Luka is known as an offensive jug. This is how important they made post control sound on NBA 2K26. Looks like this is gonna have to be your finishing. At least to start off the year, that's how important they made it. They got go-to shots in the post, more post control moves that can be done, abilities and things that weren't necessarily used before that can be used now. Adding of the green or miss feature, so it's going to take a lot of skill to do a lot of post moves. Adding more control over your player, but more ability to do more things out of the post. All these things they added within the game to make you want to make a build that has some post control and bring back post work, post game. Knowing that the takeovers are going to be the same within the game and stuff, you more than likely are going to be very effective if you know what you're doing and you have this takeover. Now for the remainder part of this video, I'm going to show you guys the build that I'm going to be making probably day one. I have 2 builds already and they're both 6'6". Boom. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is either 6'5" or 6'6". The way they talked about post-control layups, stand-in contact dunks with Uncle Demi, this seems like it's going to be fitting. I'm going to be cheesing mid-ranges from anywhere. I'm rocking a low 3 ball for content purposes, and I'm a free throw merchant. The way they spoke about interior defense, it's making me think that interior defense, obviously, it's not going to matter, but it's better to have it at an 80 versus like a 60. You couldn't even tell the difference if somebody had a 60 or an 80 rating anyway in this year's game. We're getting 2K25 2.0. As we all know, steals are going to be overpowered. I'm going to be the test dummy when it comes down to perimeter defense and block and rebounding. If I learned anything from this year's game in general, I will give it all away just to have a maxed out speed is which I'm going for. On my 6.6 build, I'll be able to have a 94 speed, but that's just one of two. I'm about to show you guys the other one in the next video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything you've heard so far. Man, let me break down what rewarding skill-based gameplay is. Rewarding skill-based gameplay is everything that they're adding into the game. Small quality of life changes that they're adding into the game that quote-unquote would take skill. The rewarding part is you knowing for a fact that you can do it and somebody else can't. Or knowing for a fact that you can do it more effective than the next person. Everything that they added into the competitiveness of the game. 2K keeps adding small things that in the grand scheme of things, they know for a fact it's going to take a little bit of skill to get used to, or at least know how to work. Now, I'm going to show you guys the build already because I'm basically making builds and readjusting my builds off of all the information that 2K is saying, point blank period. So far, every build I have is 6.6 though. The thing is though, if I'm really listening to Uncle Demi and I'm really listening to 2K, I need 2K to confirm what Uncle Demi is saying. Obviously, we're going to be getting more information and more news and more stuff to readjust to. However, we got a game coming out at the end of next month. I already showed y'all in one video, this is the first build, and I'm also going to be the test dummy. So you guys can watch me make, break, or fail, or be a god day one. But it was going to either be that build or more than likely the Swiss Army knife. And the only reason I would be making the Swiss Army knife is for these quality things, quality of life changes. Being able to have the ball IQ to pass, but unlock some good brand new dribble moves on a 6.6 and up build. What Uncle Demi said makes sense, bro. Being able to get the animation so long as you meet the requirements for said animation. That's if you know what you're doing. But also I'm taking hits on rebounding and defense and speed even. Just to be known or being classified as one of those builds that probably can do this, or you don't necessarily need this, but I'm going to be the test dummy for you guys regardless. And also it kind of seems to me like if I'm going to be on a build and you're telling me, you know, I'm going to be able to still shoot. I'm going to be able to be a merchant in the rack. I'm also going to be able to play interior, grab rebounds, and be fast, or whatever the case may be, and still be able to dunk on everybody, even while being 6'6" at a point guard role. Like, the thought process of that is really strong. I just want y'all to know, though, that there's going to be people out here that are indeed going to make very short builds with high finishing, high post control, and really be able to post hook on a 6-foot guard or something like that, and be able to be extremely skilled at these smaller heights and be way more viable than, say, somebody who's making their traditional three-point hunting guard. Overall, let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions. If you even made it this far, man, I would appreciate it because we're grinding right now. I'm going to get up with y'all in the next one. Take care of yourself, love yourself, and I'm out, bro. Peace.